Here it is right here, guys. This is my new SMH worms. I told you today that I would finally give you a look at the jig head that I designed specifically around my new SMH jig head. I've been doing videos just kind of walking you through the specifics of why I designed this jig head the way it is and what makes it, you know, pretty much my deal. So we designed a plastic specifically for this jig head, and you know, it is a shaky head worm, but it can be used a bunch of different ways. It's not limited to just using it as a shaky head plastic. So this is what it looks like here. It's 6.5 inches long. This is it. It comes right now, we have it in 8 colors is what we have now. 8 colors in the SMH worms, 6.5 inches long. Now, you know, I'm just gonna go to the basics. I know a lot of people said they didn't know how to rig it Texas rig. So let me show you how to rig it Texas rig right here. This is what we're gonna do. So basically I'm just gonna take my worm and I'm just gonna poke it right through the top. That's Brooks on the side showing you his plastic. All right, so I'm just gonna, if you can see that, just, that's how much I like to give it on the jig head there. I just put about that much. Hold on, Brooks, so they can see. All right, and then I'll just slide it right up the jig head, just like that, and then turn it over. And poke it in. That's it. That's what your jig head is gonna look like when it's all rigged and done. Simple as that, okay? So that's what a shaky head looks like for you guys that don't know what a shaky head looks like. Now, my SMH worms, be quite honest with you, not that much special about it, but we didn't have just a regular 6-inch worm at Z-Man. Everything was stick baits, which are a little thicker, or 4-inch worms. And just quite honestly, there's times of the year where a 6.5, 7-inch worm just outperforms a 4-inch worm. We did have the floating worms, and we did have like, there's a floating worms and there's finesse worms. And that's just not what I want. That's just, you know, that worm is good and I've caught a lot of fish on it, but it's just not what this is. What's special about this, and there's just not that much. I'm just being honest with you. It's a good worm. The thing about it is this is a really good worm that's a Lastech, so it'll last a long time. And there's maybe 1 or 2 things that that makes it a little bit special, but I'm just being quite honest with you. This is not anything that groundbreaking, okay? 6.5-inch worm. What I did want to do is I got quite a bit of taper right here around the tail. You can see right there, it tapers really, really good. So it just gives it a lot of action in the water. If you want to see what it looks like underwater, I'm not an underwater cameraman, all right? So if you came to this channel to see what stuff looks like underwater, then you need to go somewhere else. Z-Man did a really good video of getting some good underwater footage. Go look at their post on Instagram. You can see what it looks like underwater and what the actual, what it looks like and how it performs underwater. But it's got a really nice tapered tail that gives it some lifelike motion. The circumference of the head right here, the circumference of the head is the exact same of all the jig heads that we have. The jig head comes in 3 different sizes, 1/8, 3/16, and 1/4 ounce jig heads. Those are just 3 sizes I use. That's why we only got those 3. But the circumference of the worm, so it butts up really good to the worm. Now it's about the same circumference as the hula stick too. And I'll talk to you about that here in just a second. But this is what it looks like, right? You see how it just butts up really nice to that worm. It butts up. It butts up really nice to the worm, and it just y'all go brush your teeth over there before you knock my camera over. I don't mind you talking and playing, but you're gonna knock my camera over. Thank you, sweetheart. She gave me her toothbrush. Here you go. Take it. Thank you. So yeah, the circumference is the same as the jig head, so it just butts up really nice when you go to put super glue on it. You don't have super glue running all over the side of the worm. So that was the reasoning behind that. The other thing that I did a little different is the worm is completely round. Now, what's important about the worm being completely round is the fact that you'll be able to rig it. There's no wrong way to rig it. So let's say if I'm using it that way and then I get quite a few bites, you know how the worm starts to wear out on the flat side sometime or wherever you've been poking the hook through? You just keep rotating the worm around and rig it again, and there's no right or wrong place to rig the worm. So you'll be able, as you catch fish and as the worm just continues to wear, you just spin the worm around and you'll be able to use your Texas rig in a fresh new place again. So that's just gonna make the worm last a little bit longer, and you don't have to worry about, am I rigging it on the right side? Should I have flat side down, flat side up? Any of that kind of stuff. And it also prevents you from having more line twist, because it's always gonna rig perfectly on the jig head. The better you rig it on the jig head, the less line twist you'll have, because the bait spirals less back to the boat. So some of my favorite colors in the new worm, this particular color you're looking at right here is it's woo! That color right there is pretty. This is called mood ring. We start out with mood ring. We have plum, which is sort of like a red bug, a red color. We have hot snakes, which is green with chartreuse on the bottom. I introduced one new color that's called smoke purple. It's not a new color per se to the plastics world, but we didn't have it in any of our soft plastics in Z-Man. So I did smoke purple, because that's just one of those old school colors that I used to use a lot fishing behind my dad in the 90s. Let's see what else we got. Smoke purple then. I forget what the rest of the colors are. There's 8. Hot snakes, plum, mood ring. Should I go get all the colors? I think I'm at 6 now, so I'm probably only missing like 1 or 2 colors. But those are the colors in the new SMH worm. Don't forget, I got a crisis. Got that crisis fixed. We have mood ring, plum, hot snakes, smoke purple. There is green pumpkin goby, green pumpkin, watermelon red, and there's probably one more that I can't think of right off the bat. There's 8 colors in it, and we're actually going to add some more colors. So, of course, these colors are always influenced by the ones I need. Did I say smoke purple? That might be the 8th one. But these colors are always influenced by what I need in a shaky head worm and the colors that I use for this technique primarily. But let me know what you guys are thinking. I've already got some ideas that we've been working on with Z-Man. Some new colors that we're going to use for the worm. But if you guys have some colors that you think that you use a lot, let me know. I know we're going to add some more dark colors, some more shag colors, and some more bright pinks and chartreuses for sure. So one thing that's really important about the packaging on the SMH worm, it comes in these little trays like this. That is like, this is the bomb. The little trays that they put the plastics in. That's really important that you guys, when you do get your SMH worm, that you keep them in these trays, because that's what's going to make the worm maintain the shape. Once you take them out of the tray, if you try to like put them in a bag or put them in a tackle box by itself, they're going to lose their shape over time. So make sure you store them just like that. The packaging, any kind of elastic, never mix it with any kind of other plastic, and keep it out of direct sunlight. I think it's really good to store them vertically. I actually did a video on how you guys can take care of your elastic and make it last longer. But you know, this worm, even though we built it for the shaky head that we designed, you can use it. I've caught fish on it drop shotting. You can Texas rig the plastic. You can use it for a chatterbait trailer. The thing that I'm really excited about, let me show you something. There's one thing I'm really excited about with this worm that I need to show you. So, of course, you know, the plastic is 6.5 inches long, but you can always trim it down and have like a Ned rig. You can cut it down to size. So, you know, you can make a little piece like that, and then now you got a Ned rig shape profile that literally nobody has. With that tail on it like that, woo, boy, she gonna be shaking and juking and jiving down there. So that's some stuff that I played around in some of the ponds with it here at the house, is cutting them down, trimming them down. I've used it for a chatterbait trailer. That little tail, the taper in this worm is so unique, and so it just, like, with it being elastic, if this was traditional plastic, to be honest with you, you've seen baits on the market that have a taper like this, but they're traditional plastic. So they just don't have the action that elastic has. It's just a lot more flimsy. You can see just me holding it, I can't even get the thing to stay still. So that's the difference maker. It's really not a different shape that you haven't seen. So you're not gonna look at the worm and go, wow, Brian, this is amazing. It's not that. It's really just a proprietary plastic blend that you have with Elastec that makes this pretty special. So don't be afraid. Even though this guy is 6.5 inches long, cut it down, use it for a Ned rig, use the tail part of it for Ned rigs. It's a really good spinnerbait trailer because that tail is going to have a lot of action with the vibration of the blade on your spinnerbait. And of course, you throw it on shaky head, you can throw it on Carolina rig, you throw it on Texas rig, you can throw it on a drop shot. You know, what else is there out there? The rigs. Oh, Nico and wacky style. You know, of course, it's gonna be a great Nico bait. I've caught some fish actually on it yesterday using a Nico rig around the docks. So pretty basic design, but at the same time, it's a very purposeful design in the way we design the SMH worm. Designed specifically around the SMH jig head, and it's designed specifically to I forgot what else I was gonna say. For the jig head, it's designed specifically for the jig head, and it's designed specifically for the jig head. But doesn't mean you only have to use it for a jig head. I forgot what else I was about to say about it. But I think you guys are gonna like the worm. It's gonna be great for doing a lot of different things, not just for throwing it on a shaky head. If you need some help learning how to rig this guy the way that I've got it here, yesterday we did a video on why we don't use a screw lock. Today I'm just showing you the worm. I think we're down to talking about how to actually fish the bait. Next couple videos, maybe we'll be able to get out on the water and show you where I'm throwing it, what I'm looking for, and maybe even catch a few fish. It's about to be shaky head time. You live in the south where I live, when the spotted bass start spawning, when the water gets in that upper 50s to 60 degree water, man, they go to eating on this guy like it ain't, like tomorrow ain't never coming again. Fishing gets really good. So a reminder that if you go to the Bassmaster Classic this weekend, actually tomorrow, Saturday, the second day of the Bassmaster Classic, at the Karl's Bait and Tackle booth, they will be giving away, I was showing the worms, but they will be giving away 100 packs to the first people that come see me between 11 and 1 tomorrow at the Bassmaster Classic, Karl's Bait and Tackle booth. So you'll just have to look in your show bulletin, find out where it is, because I don't even know where it is just yet. But find the Karl's Bait and Tackle booth, and get you a pack of SMH heads. All right, that's the shaking my head worm, the SMH worm. Don't forget that this jig head also works on other plastics like the hula stick. We threw it on the plastics yesterday too. What? Brooks says this is his worm. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Tomorrow, actually I won't be able to do a video tomorrow because we'll be at the Classic tomorrow. Meeting you guys with the, I gotta take care of this. All right, sorry. See you guys later.